to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar per dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance.
Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time.
Know-how, Napa know-how.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name's Mike Amos. Hope you're doing well this morning on a Wednesday. Already moving along with the 7th day of February as we head toward a Valentine's Day. Will you be my Valentine? That's what you need to tell your wife this morning, or ask your wife this morning. Of course, we got a lot of things going on in our community this week. We've got the Songwriters Showcase with Teddy Gentry of Alabama going to be here on Saturday. We've got the Mardi Gras Gala out at the Cattlemen's Association building, one of the great parties you'll go to anywhere. I repeat, anywhere. If you want to see Troy and Pike County at its very best, come out to the gala this weekend and you'll see a Mardi Gras gala and fun party that you won't see many places, I promise you. And of course, the College Senior Center committee has worked so very hard to get ready for this big occasion, and of course, it's all to raise funds for the College Senior Center, which is one of the top senior centers in the state of Alabama. Yes, I'm bragging, but if it wasn't so, I wouldn't be bragging, I promise you. And I know there are good senior centers everywhere, but I don't know if there's any better anywhere than right here in Troy. And Chrissy Pinkert and all the great folks, she's the chairman of the board, and boy, they do a super job, I promise you. And a big 13-piece band's going to be here. They're going to be bebopping all over the place. They're going to be eating Cajun food like you won't believe. The food will be great. The party will be great. The outfits and the decor will be brilliant. You just will not believe you're in Troy, Alabama. So if you don't have a table yet, get up with some of your friends and say, let's buy a table and let's go to that great gala in Troy. If you're in Andalusia this morning, in Ozark, oh, all you boppers over there, Cy Lisenby, and your sweet and lovely sister, Beverly, and all the boppers from Ozark ought to be coming in and buying a table. This is going to be a very, very good party in Troy, Alabama. You know, back in July, I was bragging about our big class reunion, 15-year class reunion. And hey, turned out to be exactly, and even better than we said it was going to be. That's exactly what you're going to find with this gala celebration on Saturday night at the Cattleman's Arena. And of course, that Cattleman's building is outstanding for a party like this, and it will be a wonderful gathering, I grant you. Teddy Gentry of the group Alabama will be here in concert and dance. I would say in concert. Marty Raven of Shenandoah, Reba and Linda Davis, who had a duet with Reba McEntire, was #1 hit, will be here representing the Claudia Crosby, will be at the Claudia Crosby Theater. We'll have some people coming in, I hope, in just a few moments to talk more about this. And of course, this is sponsored by the Troy Arts Council, and another big fundraiser and part of their big entertainment of the year. And of course, everybody knows Teddy Gentry, of course, member of the group Alabama for so many years, and you'll hear some of those great songs from Alabama, and of course Marty Raven from Shenandoah, the great band from Shenandoah, and again Linda Davis. Going to be a big time concert at the Claudia Crosby Theater this weekend, and of course Joel Williams is going to be on my show in just a few moments. Of course, he is the chairman of the board at the Troy Arts Council, and Joel's a good friend of mine, and he's going to talk to us more about this event that's coming up Saturday night. And then, of course, Saturday afternoon, you got a big basketball game. Troy University goes at it in basketball, so we're looking forward to that. And also tonight from the Stadium Club, the National Signing Day party for Troy University will start at 5:30. And of course, it's a wonderful, wonderful event where they tell you about all the recruits that they signed, and each coach will sort of break down that player and tell you how, what they're getting with him and by recruiting him. And it looks like another banner year for Troy University as far as recruiting good athletes, and this is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen, is recruiting good athletes and putting them on the field and then coaching them. And Troy does as good a job of coaching them as anybody around. And again, that's at 5:30 tonight from the Stadium Club. Food and drink. Members of the Trojan Warriors will get in free. If you're a Trojan Warrior, you get in free. If not, it's going to cost you $15. But I promise you it'll be worth all of that money to enjoy this festivity, where a lot of Trojans will gather starting at 5:30 from the 4th floor Stadium Club at Veterans Memorial Stadium right here in Troy. Of course, you'll get a good look at the end zone that's being constructed at the north end of the field at Veterans Stadium, and I think you'll find it to be outstanding. And of course, again, it's going to be a big party tonight, starting at 5:30 from the 4th floor Stadium Club. And again, all you Trojan Warrior members get in free, and then everybody else pays $15. Plenty of good food and drink, and a lot of Troy football, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Coach Brown will break all his signees down, and they'll have highlight films of them. It's just really well done, and we're excited about it right here in Troy. And of course, a lot of other things going on there. There'll be also on Saturday the women's basketball game against Arkansas State. Starts at 2 o'clock, and the men play at 4:15. So should be quite a basketball game. Of course, Thursday night we've got another big game. Excuse me. This is the Arkansas State game Thursday night. The women start at start at 4 o'clock. I want to say, and the men start at 7:15. Should be a great double header for basketball coming up this Thursday night from the Trojan Arena on the campus of Troy University. Of course, speaking of Troy, let's take a look at them. They are in the women's bracket and the men's bracket. Here the way they look. The Troy women are ranked right now number 5 in the Sun Belt Conference. They're 6-4, and overall they're 11-10, and they have a four-game winning streak. So right now, so they're on fire, and hopefully they put it all together like they did last year and go back to the national championships. Also, number 1 is Little Rock. We played them Saturday. South Alabama is number 2, and we beat them the other night. Texas State is number 3. Arkansas State is number 4. Then Troy, then Louisiana, and then UT, University of Texas at Arlington. And then comes Coastal Carolina, Appalachian State, ULM, Georgia State, and Georgia Southern. All of these teams will be eligible to go to New Orleans for the conference championship. In the men's conference ranks, Louisiana, University of Louisiana at Lafayette, they're 10-0 in the conference and a whopping 20-3 overall. They're one of the top teams in the country right now. They have a 10-game winning streak. Georgia State's number 2. They're 9-2 with 18-6 overall, and they've won 9 in a row. Georgia Southern 7-4, 16-8, and Texas State is 7-5 and 14-11. UT Arlington 6-6 and 15-10 overall. Coastal Carolina 5-7, 11-14 overall. Appalachian State is 5-7 and 10-5 overall. South Alabama is 4-6 and 11-12 with a 3-game winning streak, losing streak. Troy is 4-6, 10-13 overall, and then Arkansas State comes in there with 4-7. ULM 3-7, and Little Rock 2-9. It's not easy. It's not easy playing in a conference that big, but hopefully Troy will find a way. Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham. Is that right?
Yeah. What's up?
Do I hear Mary Prater Amos in the background?
Yeah, she's about to try to eat some a little breakfast snack before she goes to school.
Well, that's great. She's a sweet
Bad
girl.
weather up here.
We've had
It's been rough.
we've had rain here, but no severe weather by any means. But you said it's been rough weather out there.
Yeah, just a lot of lightning and thunder. It's just loud
Yeah.
night.
No, it sounds like it. No question about it. Mike, of course, we've got a lot going on this week. We've got our big signing party, and from what I gather, Troy has done another good job of recruiting. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of needs, you know, definitely running back, probably want to find another quarterback, definitely more linebackers, always offensive line, defensive line. Of course, we ran into some issues with kicking last year, even though Sumter came in and did a good job punting and kicking at the end of the season. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I think they'll probably only get about another maybe 6 or 7 guys today.
Yeah.
So I mean, what you hope for more than anything is some of these SEC schools will end up not offering some of these guys, and then they'll let Troy come in and get some really good players, hopefully.
Yeah, well, it says here, quiet day might be on tap for Trojans, but with the bulk of the recruiting work accomplished in the early signing period today, a National Signing Day could be quiet. The Trojans initially inked 14 players in the first signing period back in December. Since then, the Trojans have added graduate transfer Trevon Samuel, the guy out of Louisville that should be able to help them right away, and they picked up a few others along the way. Of course, Alabama chases 5 stars to fill the needs. Can you believe how many 5 stars Georgia? I think about last I read, they have 10 5 stars already committed. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, they're killing it in recruiting. I mean, Kirby Smart.
What is Kirby Smart doing at
recruit class?
Yeah. What is he telling them? What is he telling them?
I mean, he's just in Georgia where there's just so much talent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's finally getting all those guys that used to go to Auburn and Alabama and other places.
Yeah. Of course, Auburn starts with 8 commitments, and they got more players they're looking at. Of course, they signed this kid, this quarterback, Joey Gatewood. They said might be better than anybody got in camp. How good is he?
I mean, they're comparing him to Cam Newton, so that's pretty good praise.
That's right. And Asa Martin is a running back, big time, that Auburn's got committed. Is that right?
Yeah, he's already there.
Yeah. So, of course...
he'll maybe have a chance to play a lot with Kerryon Johnson and Petway being gone.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, Alabama has 3 scholarships left, 3 scholarship quarterbacks under the age of 20 already on the roster. And so I would think Hurts will still be considered a quarterback, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just going to see how it goes in the spring, and then after that, Jalen Hurts will either probably change positions or transfer. That's what they keep on saying. So,
I want to mention.
Apparently, Texas is definitely coming after him as well. That's what I've heard.
Oh, really? And get him to sit out or what?
Yeah, you got to sit out a year.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way you can play right away is if you go down to 1AA.
I bet they'd love to have him.
1AA.
I bet they'd love to have him. Of course, also Mississippi State beats Alabama in basketball. What happened? Alabama just can't play well on the road, can they?
Well, there's just no consistency. Can't play back-to-back. Keep on winning one, losing one. I mean, only reason they're even still talked about in the NCAA is because of the fact they beat 4 teams ranked in the top 25, and they'll play another one come Saturday when they play Tennessee, who's ranked number 14, and beat Kentucky at Rupp last night. Tennessee did, so
that's pretty good. You're right.
Turns around and beats them this weekend, they'll be right back in the conversation. But I'll be honest, a lot of Alabama fans are extremely disappointed. They never thought this team would lose 9 games already.
Yeah. Poor old Gus Malzahn.
It's really bad. Really bad though. I mean, you blow out Florida by 18 on the road, and then you got to turn around and play at Starkville, and Mississippi State's 18-6.
Yeah.
You know, their non-conference was very weak. They didn't play anybody non-conference, and they got losing record in conference. But
Mike, I can't believe
a good time for the tournament.
Hey, I can't believe some bad customer broke into Rob Gronkowski's house last night. It says New England Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski, perhaps the meanest guy in sports, and I really mean that. At 6'8", 263 pounds, can be heard on 911 call calmly telling a dispatcher that his home was burglarized while he was at the Super Bowl. Police in Foxborough, Massachusetts released a portion of the call on Tuesday. I can't wait to hear this call. In broadcasting.com recording of a call between responding officers and dispatch, and a dispatcher says multiple safes and possible guns were taken. Multiple safes and possible guns were taken. The police reacted all details of what was taken. So
yeah, it's crazy. The same thing happened to DeMarcus Ware when he played the Super Bowl a few years ago. So
yeah.
I guess these thieves just target these guys when they know they're not going to be there.
Wouldn't you have hated to know that he was there, though? Boy, would he have worked some folks over.
It was I mean, it seemed like you would have more security in a house like that. Surely the alarm and stuff would go off.
Yeah, no question.
I don't know.
I'm going to use the word old Gus Malzahn. Mike, he'll make $6.7 million this year in 2008, and the number will increase by 100,000 every season. All right, Auburn head coach Gus Malzahn will make $6.7 million in 2018, and that number will increase by 100,000 every season over the life of the new contract he signed with the university. He'll make 6.7 in 2018, 6.8 in 2019, 6.9 in 2020, $7 million in 2021. This guy lives in Auburn, Alabama now. Where's he going to spend all this money? 2022 he'll make 7.1. 2023 he'll make 7.2. In 2024 he'll make 7.3. Can you believe it?
Well, I mean, somebody's got to get the $49 million, so I guess that gets you the $49 million. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, before the end of the 2024 season is 75% of the remaining total compensation, which starts now at $36.75 million and will decrease annually based on the remaining life of the contract. That's the buyout clause.
What is it guaranteed?
The buyout clause for Malzahn, and I don't think he'll need a buyout. Buyout clause is an event that Auburn elects to terminate his contract. He'll still get $36.75 million.
Oh my God! So he'll get $36 million regardless.
Yeah,
so that's guaranteed.
That sure is the way it looks like to me. You know, he will earn a base salary of $500,000 every season, plus a $3.1 million in personal endorsement rights, and increased by $50,000 per season.
Jimmy Fisher gets $75 million guaranteed.
Yeah. Mike, let me put you on hold a minute if you don't mind. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. That's Low, Alabama.
Hey, Mike, it's Will Matthews.
Will Matthews, it's so sorry to hear about your Uncle Bubba. Tell us about that.
Well, I appreciate your call yesterday. I was in court when you tried to get me. Uncle Bubba was 90 years old. He was almost 91. He had a bad stroke around Christmas. He'd been doing great till then.
Yeah.
And then had some of those little mini strokes after that, and he was starting to go downhill. But he lived a great life. He was a great man, well beloved in Montgomery and all over the state, really.
One of the classiest men I think I've ever known. I mean, Bubba Trotman, John Bubba Trotman, ladies and gentlemen of Montgomery, died this past Saturday. And now, what relation are you to him?
He was my Aunt-Liv's brother.
All right, so.
And Aunt-Liv died 24 years ago, so she'd been dead 24 years ago. But Uncle Bubba had, he had a wife pass away, 2 of his 4 sons passed away, and 1 of his grandchildren passed away. So he's had some sad times, you know, during his life, but he lived a wonderful life.
Of course, you know, a lot of people know his son, Charlie Trotman, played football at Auburn for all these years, and it had a radio show in Montgomery, and they say he's just as nice a fella as Bubba.
Yeah, and Woody's been taking care of Uncle Bubba for the past year or so.
Yeah.
And now one of them's got twin sons, and they're the ones running the cattle company. And actually the governor was at the funeral yesterday.
So
he was a very prominent man in Montgomery.
Oh yeah. And hey, all the girls wanted to go out with him too because he's so classy. You know, he had a lot of friends, and like you said, you know, he came to Troy. He's from Troy. Grew up in Troy over on West College Street, and Emery Farmer grew up right down the street from him. Did you know that?
I did, and he loved Troy. He always, you know, cherished Troy, even though he lived in Montgomery.
Yeah.
Right outside of Montgomery as you're going in on the left.
Yeah, people, you know, beautiful antebellum home there, out there in the field. You can't miss it. You're right.
And some of his children and grandchildren are building houses out there. So,
Well, you-
there, the Trotman presence will still be felt south of Montgomery.
No question about it. Now, I said he was related, you know, grew up in Troy, and of course the Trotman home is one of the most beautiful homes in Troy on West College Street. He's related to a lot of people, including the Noel Hollis, the artist. That was his uncle, is that right?
Yep, Fred Hollis, and he lives in Fairhope now.
Yeah.
And Fred.
And he's talking about Noel, who his real name is Fred, isn't that right?
That's right. And Noel was there yesterday, and Noel's really a great guy, and he's moved. He is retired. He lived in France for, 35, 40 years probably. He's a little younger than you and a little older.
That's right. He's 1 year younger than me, 69.
Yeah.
I hate to tell people how old I am, you know. Was Randy Brown there? You know, the Browns were also related to the Trotmans.
I don't know.
You know, of course, you know, that's a big family. And, of course, how was he related? Now, your aunt was a Carroll, wasn't she? Or was she a Trotman?
She was a Trotman.
Your aunt was a Trotman. What was her name?
Her name was Mary Elizabeth.
Okay.
But they called her Lil.
And you named your child after her, didn't you?
I did.
Who's a law partner of yours, Elizabeth.
That's right. And she is named after Aunt Liv and my Aunt Sarah. Her name is Sarah Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like being called Sarah. She doesn't like to be called Elizabeth. She likes to be called Sarah Elizabeth.
Yeah, I got you. Now, and of course, your mother, who was a Carroll, is that right?
That's right.
Now, how was she related to the Trotmans, the Carrolls?
Her brother was married to Aunt Elizabeth, Aunt Liv.
All right, one of the Carroll boys is named Trot Carroll, Trotman Carroll.
That's right.
And one of Randy Brown's boys is named Trot Brown. It's sort of confusing, but all of those guys are related. Is that right? Of course, Trot Brown was born and raised right here in Troy.
That's right. It's an interesting name, you know, Trotman.
Yeah, and of course the Carrolls of Ozark. What was their relationship with the Trotman, with Charlie?
Well, it was
John Trotman.
He was their brother-in-law.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
And Uncle Bubba was their uncle.
Okay, now I know. Bubba Trotman's wife was a Carroll. Is that right?
I'll tell you something funny about Aunt Liv. She was the socialite of Ozark, Alabama.
Yeah.
She was from Troy. Well, she was the majorette at Troy High School. She was like the head majorette.
Okay.
All this.
And they had a great band back then too. Herman Mall had a great band.
Well, Ozark played Eufaula one year, and they tied 6-6. And they said the kicker from Ozark missed the extra point. It went straight down the middle, but they said he kicked it too high, which was ridiculous.
Yeah, I know it.
These two guys who had a little something to drink, they beat up the official out in the parking lot after the game.
Yeah.
And Ozark got put on probation and they had to play every game on the road the next year, and they had their homecoming in Troy.
Yeah. Of course, Bubba Trotman was the funeral was at the First Baptist Church in Montgomery, and it had to be a lot of people there. That had to be one of the largest funerals probably in the history of Montgomery, wouldn't you say?
Oh, you're packed, jam-packed.
And, of course, he was buried at what cemetery there? Do you know?
I don't know, Mike.
But, of course, a great man, John Bubba Trotman, and, of course, Will can take pride in being kin to him. Let me bring Mike Amos back in here. I'm going to get both of y'all on the line at the same time. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, both of y'all on now?
I'm here.
Mike, you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Oh, man, I'm getting good at this now, man. I'm getting good at it. Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham. Will Matthews, are you in Dothan or Ozark?
I'm actually between Dothan and Ozark. I'm headed toward my office.
Yeah. Of course, the Super Bowl had to go down as one of the best games I think I've ever seen of any of the Super Bowls. What do you think?
It was very entertaining. No doubt about that.
I just can't get past how bad New England is on defense now. I mean, that was a really poor defensive New England team. I mean, I know they lost Dante Hightower and they lost some other starters off that roster, but God, they were bad.
And the defensive coordinator just got the Detroit Lions job, and I think the Detroit fans are saying, God, we don't want this guy.
I know it.
Yeah, he's that big burly bearded guy.
I agree. Of course, it was a great game.
Also, the kicking games were poor for New England, which you never say.
Yeah, no question about it.
That guy's usually automatic.
Yeah.
Well, he had a bad snap on one of them.
Yeah, that was a bad snap, no question about it. Of course, what was the line on that game, Will? At kickoff. What?
5. New England by 5.
New England by 5. So the bookies did well. Don't you agree?
I would think most people bet on New England.
Yeah, I would think so too. No question about it. Want to mention last night, Carroll of Ozark girls lose to Rehoboth, so they're in overtime, so they're out of the tournament. Of course, there's a lot of high school basketball tournaments going on this part of the country. Of course, in Ozark, how did our Super Bowl party go, Will?
I didn't go, but I heard it was a big one, as always. Stuart Skinner does a great job with it.
In fact, he started this how many years ago?
Oh, at least 25 years ago.
Well, he did a real good job. Come on up, Joel. We've got a lot going on in Troy this weekend. We've got the Mardi Gras Ball, and we also have a wonderful concert at the Claudia Crosby Theater where we have Teddy Gentry going to be here. Also, the group Shenandoah, and we're going to have Joel Williams, who is the what would you be your title?
I'm president of the Troy Arts Council.
President of the Troy Arts Council is also here. You got Mike Amos at your exposed.
Hey, Mike.
I reckon you're still there, aren't you, Mike?
Yeah, I am.
Mike's in Birmingham. They say it's raining hard in Birmingham this morning.
Oh, it's starting to rain in Troy.
And your fellow lawyer buddy, Will Matthews. You know Will?
Yeah, I know Will well.
All you lawyers know each other. That's what bothers me so much. Wouldn't you hate to be in a court of law and the two lawyers for and against are the best friends? Do you run into that much?
Yeah, but it works better that way. It's better when the lawyer on the other side is somebody you can trust. Isn't that right, Will?
Yeah. My only goal practicing law is to be in on every case, one side or the other. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, Joel and I go way back. I've known him ever since he was a kid.
Yeah,
and
small
he grew
child.
up right around the corner
street.
from me,
Yeah.
and had a great mama like I did.
Yeah.
And
our mothers worked together.
Exactly, no question. And of course, Joel been an attorney in Troy for a long time. We were talking about Joel before you got here about John Bubba Trotman,
Yes,
Of
fine
course,
gentleman.
everybody knew him, and everybody said the same thing about him. What a great man he was. Well, I mean, can you believe he is the uncle of Will Matthews?
You know, I knew
that
Will.
Takes a, I tell you, I don't know if he shared that with many people or not. What do you think, Will?
I tell you, my daddy they used to call him Uncle Buddy. He was Buddy Matthews.
Yeah.
And then there's Uncle Buddy and Uncle Bubba.
Yeah.
And when we went to when Sam the Third got married, I was in the wedding, and I was about 17, something like that, 16, 17. It was down in Pensacola, and I had my first drink, and I got into the champagne.
And you
we went back to the hotel, and I looked at it was at the Holiday Inn down there. I looked, I said, you know, that second floor is pretty close to the pool. I think I can dive into the pool.
Yeah. Oh gosh. You know, the Trotman house is where Carla Telfair lives. You know,
Right,
and that's where John Trotman was raised.
Right, and Will's kin to royalty from all over.
Yeah, Will. Listen, everywhere Will goes, he's got royalty. You go to Birmingham, he's in royalty in Birmingham.
Troy,
you go to Memphis, he's in royalty.
Dale County, and wherever he
Will,
goes.
you walk to a different drummer than everybody else, man.
Will, your blood's mighty blue compared to mine.
And he's also ranked number 3, the number 3 domino player in the world. Will Matthews of Mozart. Self-proclaimed, though, isn't that right, Will?
Let me tell you the rest of this. So I dive off the second floor.
Oh, gosh.
Go into the deep end and pull it off, you know, but my head hits the bottom of the pool.
Oh, no.
And so I come out, and everybody's saying, my God, there's blood gushing, you know, how your veins up in your head. Anyway, Uncle Bubba took me to the hospital, and they put in 5 or 6 stitches.
Now, where was this that you were at when you at his pool? Where?
No, he's at a Holiday Inn.
Oh, Holiday Inn, I got you.
And anyway, Uncle Bubba took me to the thing, and the hospital wouldn't take a check.
Oh, God.
We'll take cash or a credit card. And so he had to call and so then they called somebody else, and they come up there and paid the ER bill. But it was, I learned.
Okay, and you were not invited to another wedding after that, is that right?
I don't drink anymore. I know that.
That cured you.
Of course, we're talking about a man that was well known in these circles. And I say that, you know, all the ladies wanted to go out with him. You know, he was the type guy that a lady could say, will you take me to the ball? Or no telling how many times he did that.
He was a pleasant
that's
person
right.
and a fine gentleman. And I didn't have a lot of dealings with Mr. Trotman, but every time I did, he was always the same. Very pleasant.
Did you ever go visit them back when you were growing up, Will, in Troy on West College Street?
Oh yeah.
Now, just around the corner was the McLeod House.
Yeah,
McLeod. The McLeod House, which is one of the older houses in Troy. Beautiful old house, and I should say that's where Joel lives now. Yeah. And you renovated that old house.
Well,
what did you find when you were knocking down those walls?
We found a newspaper from 1926.
Did you really?
And so that's the only way we've been able to date what year the house was built. Yeah. So we know it was built around the 26.
And then my wife's home, childhood home, was right up the
around
street.
The corner.
And that was built by the Bashinskis, you know, for her son. And her son's wife didn't want to live in Troy, so they had to sell it. And my father-in-law came along and bought it, you know.
It's a magnificent home.
Yeah.
And we've enjoyed our house.
But did you have some fun times when you used to visit Troy back then, Will?
Yeah, I can remember we used to play football up there, all the kids. And I was the youngest of the kids.
Yeah.
So they just stick me out on the side, and I'd run down there.
But that's still a beautiful old street, just like that. What is it? You follow? I mean, Ozark. What's the main street there in Ozark?
College.
Yeah, West College in Troy, but
I think it's College in Ozark.
Yeah, the College Street in Ozark's got all those old homes.
Broad Street.
Broad Street. I got you. And of course, beautiful old homes in Ozark, and we're of course we're talking about a lot of things going on coming up this Saturday. Will, were you a big fan of the group Alabama?
Oh yeah, in fact they opened the Ozark Civic Center when it opened. They were the opening thing. It's probably the biggest crowd they've ever had in that place.
Yeah. Well, of course, you've got a big event coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Saturday night, 7 o'clock at Claudia Crosby Theater, we have the Troy Arts Council is sponsoring an event called Heart Behind the Music. And we had a similar event last year. What it is we invite 3 songwriters, and our 3 songwriters are Teddy Gentry of Alabama.
Yeah, he wrote the majority of those songs, didn't he?
Yeah. We have Marty Rabin of the group Shenandoah, and then we have a lady named Linda Davis, and she had a #1 hit with Reba McEntire. And these 3 songwriters, they come and they just sit on stage. It's unscripted, and they interact with each other and talk, and they basically tell you some scenes from some stories from behind the scenes in the music industry. They tell you about the song they wrote, and then they sing it.
Yeah.
And it's just a magnificent, and you see what likable, normal, real, down-to-earth people these incredible talents are. And I was getting some information about this performance, and all 3 of our performers have won Grammy Awards.
Oh, yeah.
Teddy Gentry, Linda Davis, and Marty Rabin have all won Grammy Awards. And, of course, most of them were with Alabama, but between 3 of them, they have 57 Grammy Awards.
Yeah. You know,
and they're all going to be on one stage at one time in Troy.
57 Grammy Awards. And, Will, I know you realize this probably. Everybody thinks the singer makes all the money, but it's really the songwriter that makes all the money because they've got control of that song forever.
They own it.
Forever. And when that song, like we have to be careful what we play here on this set here.
Yeah, copyright.
Copyrights, and that copyright brings them in millions every year. I mean, no telling how wealthy Teddy Gentry is.
He doesn't have to worry about.
I mean, because he was their lead songwriter, pretty much.
Yeah, I believe so. And
well, my home's in Alabama.
That's
bum, bum.
I think that's a solo, Mikey. They don't need you.
Will, what was your favorite Alabama song?
Hey, Mike, do you know who from Dothan has probably written more songs than any human being alive in this country?
Well, he sings a song, cricket song, doesn't he?
There you go, Bobby Goldsboro.
Bobby Goldsboro.
Bobby Goldsboro was a great songwriter. Does he still live in Dothan?
No, he lives in Nashville.
Does he? And he still writes songs?
I think he's retired now, but his brother lives in Dothan.
He always sang sad songs. You know, a lot of sad songs.
That sells.
Yeah, exactly right. But tell us about when all this will start.
The event is Saturday night. It's at Claudia Crosby Theater. It's at 7 o'clock. And let me just give you a little heads up. There's a misprint on some of the tickets. Some of the tickets say Friday, but it's actually Saturday. The date is correct, the 10th. It's Saturday the 10th. Starts at 7 p.m. Tickets are $30. You can get them at the door. You can get them online. And I want to mention that our KW Plastics is a corporate sponsor for this event. They're underwriting it, and their group will be there en masse Saturday night. We thank them for their support. But it's incredible to think how much talent we're going to have on one stage at one time in Troy, Alabama Saturday night.
Will, let me tell you something about Joel. He's probably the best dressed man in Troy. How about you, Will? Are you wearing a tie, and do you have a handkerchief in your pocket, or what's the deal with you?
I can top him today. I've got one of my Augusta National ties on.
Oh, do you? Okay, I got you.
Well, I was going to be on the Mike Amos show this morning, so I had to dress the part.
Because Joel is always classy, and that was something about Bubba Trotman. Oh man, he dressed to a T, didn't he?
Yeah.
He could have fit in any circle. That's the kind of guy he was.
And Mr.
Trotman, he could have been at a president's ball or a honky tonk party.
And he spent a career in agriculture and around cows and stuff. And once or twice when I saw him, he's one of those people that looked like dirt didn't stick to him.
No, I know.
He could be doing a dirty work and not get dirty.
He was 90 years old. Will, was he sick for a long time, or did it come on sudden?
No, actually, he was great until right around Christmas. He had a bad stroke. and then he had a couple of mini strokes after that and started going downhill.
Yeah.
But he was doing great. Thanksgiving, he was doing great. Nothing,
Yeah.
But he had a stroke, and that kind of did him in.
Yeah.
But
well, I tell you, that's sad. That home that sits out there, you bound to see that. You know that home over the years. I think everybody says, you know where the Trotman home is. Of course, you take that left before you get to Montgomery. You ride out there and you see Trotman Cattle Company. Then you see this beautiful old antebellum home sitting out there.
It looks like a postcard.
Yeah, it sure does.
A friend of mine was going to visit Bubba one time, and he said he wasn't sure how to get there, and he stopped and asked for directions. This fellow was walking down the side of the road, and he said, "How do you get to the Trotman home?" He said, "You go down here, and you turn right, and it'll be the first mansion on the right."
you know how the group Dallas, it reminds you a little bit of Dallas.
Yeah, that's exactly. I hadn't thought about that. It does.
Of course, what a gentleman, and it's just great that Will was on our line today. But a lot of people, and Trotman left. Like you said, he was born and raised in Troy, and he went to Troy High School, and he lived right there on West College Street. His buddy down the street, you know who that was, don't you?
Oh, Emery Farmer.
Emery Farmer.
Yeah.
And then Charles Henderson. Charles Henderson was in between the two.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about that. That was a pretty productive block of houses.
And Miss Bashinsky lived there on the corners, and bless her heart, all her son did was start golden flake potato chips.
Yeah.
Sloan Bashinsky.
Yeah, and who was it? There was one of them that was founding of what's now Bank of America. Who was that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that would be. But
gosh, I can't remember.
It was Gillestead.
Might have been
the Gillestead family
might have been.
in Atlanta. Where
maybe that's it. I think that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
And he was raised over there, or he lived over on Orange Street.
Somebody could write a history of the homes on that street, and I don't mean the structures. I mean the families that came out of that two-block area. It's
same way with Ozark. Will the big mansion that the city owns now? Who built that home?
It was an architect named Holman that built that house.
It's related to Adrian Holman.
Yes, it was his uncle. And he built that house, and he built a house across the street that's really nice. And the city now owns the Holman Mansion.
Yeah. Which that was a smart thing to do because they have a lot of events there, don't they?
Well, when my son got married in November, we had the reception there.
Oh man, that was fun, wasn't it?
He got married in the church down on the corner, and we just walked up the street, and there we were.
Yeah, that's right.
It was really convenient.
Will's a big Methodist from Ozark, that is going to tell me, how many years was your mama the piano player there, organ player there?
50 years, Mike.
Wow.
Well, we know now that you were raised the right way.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
I'll tell you something about my mother. She played for 800 funerals.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't doubt that. You've been the organist at the First Methodist Church of Ozark over the years. God, isn't that amazing?
Well, she played in all the other churches too. I mean, for funerals. But she also played 300 and something weddings. They couldn't come up with the exact figure when she died, but it was in the 300s. She never charged anything for a wedding. Anytime
isn't that amazing?
She would just turn around and give it to the church.
I hope she didn't let you tag along with her and go to the parties. Say, Mama, I can hear you right now. Mama, can I go to that funeral? I mean, can I go to that wedding with you?
They might have a
because they're supposed to have a good band. They're supposed to have a good band.
I'll tell you something funny about my daddy. He would not go to the wedding. He'd go to the reception, and he'd be out there at the reception waiting on him. He'd say, "Oh, the bride was so beautiful." He didn't go to the wedding.
Yeah. Will, I've got to say something this morning. Everybody was wondering about Philadelphia. It might be one of the great sports towns in America, but it says Philly mayor hopes knuckleheads will avoid Eagles parade. An estimated 2 million people celebrating the Eagles' long-awaited first Super Bowl win will descend on the city today as the Vince Lombardi Trophy is paraded through 5 miles of jubilant fans. Democratic Mayor Jim Kenney called on them to celebrate with passion and pride, and warned the small knucklehead contingent that caused trouble that they were going to be out looking for them. But isn't that unreal, though? You don't think of Philadelphia every day. You think of New York, and Chicago, and whatever. But Philadelphia might be the best sports town in America.
Well, that's the place where they threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Oh, exactly. But I mean, somebody told me it was 500,000 people down there that went down to celebrate the victory that night.
Well, they need to act. It might be their first one, but they need to act like they've been there before.
But that's the problem. You're right. Of course, they tore up things and stole things.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have that kind of people in one place, that's what happened. And everybody talks about, Will, and I think I'm right by saying this, the Philadelphia Police Department is one of the most hard-nosed police departments in the country.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? They don't put up with a lot, do they?
That's right.
If you're going to act up, it's not the town you want to act up in. Isn't that right?
That's exactly right.
Is that right, Will?
Mike, last year I was a delegate to Cleveland to the Republican convention.
Yeah.
You know how many people got arrested during the whole week in Cleveland?
Oh, 1,000?
Yes.
1,000?
21.
Huh?
21.
Is that all?
All right. Yeah, that's all. Guess how many people got arrested in Philadelphia at the Democratic convention?
1,000?
2,100. 100 times as many.
Yeah, they don't put up with anything there now, I'm telling you.
No, they don't.
So the mayor said, you knuckleheads better stay away from our victory parade. And I can understand that.
And I bet the message was received.
Yeah.
I bet people heard it. I bet they understood what he meant.
They have closed Philadelphia Thursday. Yeah. It's closed. Everything. School, work, everything.
It's a great town, no question about it. And they will really celebrate that victory. No question. I was glad. I've always been sort of a Brady fan, but as that game went on, the more I started rooting for Philadelphia. I'll tell you one thing. We mentioned this Monday. Hey, those two quarterbacks don't have to worry about being married to a good-looking woman. Brady and that other guy, boy, they look like they were married to Miss America. I don't know.
Well, that's probably true for all NFL quarterbacks. If you get to be an NFL quarterback, you get to pretty much
exactly right.
First in line.
No question about it. Of course, now $30.
Right.
We're talking about a Las Vegas type.
Oh, listen, I mean,
is that right?
Yeah, $30, and 3 people between them have won 57 Grammys. These are the most talented musician authors that you can find, and we've got all 3 of them in one place at one time Saturday night in Troy, Alabama.
Now, Shenandoah, the guy from Shenandoah has got a little bit of
he's got some local connections.
Yeah, local connections. Right
once upon a time, he played in a little group that made a few appearances out at Lester's Flat.
That's right. Lester's. They went out to Lester's with Kenny. Hey,
and he'll talk about
get the rest of the story now with Kenny Campbell.
That's right.
And didn't you say K&W Plastics was one of the sponsors?
Now
you know the rest of the story.
That's right. And I hope Kenny's there Saturday night. And last year, Marty Rabin was here, and he talked about his times out at Lester's. And some of Lester's family was in attendance, and Kim was there, and they.
That's Kim May.
They went backstage before the show and met Marty and or not met him, but rekindled their old friendship. Yeah. And so it's a wonderful experience. And here's the thing about it: when the concert's over, these 3 people will go out in the lobby and mingle with the audience for an hour.
That's what's going to be great.
So if you want to meet and greet and talk to these people one-on-one, come Saturday night and hang around after the show, and you can ask Teddy Gentry about his cow raising business, or Marty Rabin about Lester's Flat, or whatever you want to talk about.
And of course,
they're nice people.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, it's going to be a lot of fun. And from Fort Payne, Alabama, Merry Christmas to you.
I love that song.
I do too, and I don't know if he wrote that or not, but
we can ask him.
A lot of people, of course, all of them were born and raised. That group Alabama were born and raised in the Fort Payne area. But you know where they went to get their stardom at an early stage, Will, do you know?
I have no idea.
They went to North Carolina.
South Carolina.
Or South Carolina. from the Embers. They went to Myrtle Beach. The one in Myrtle Beach is where they really got their start at Myrtle Beach, and then of course, the rest is history. And,
did a little rock and roll in those days.
Oh yeah, and of course it was a lot of fun to watch them. I would think the group Alabama will go down with the Beatles and some of the great bands of all time.
Particularly in the country music area, nobody's had more big hits. I think they had something like 43 #1 hits.
And they were just country boys from Fort Payne, and they handled themselves well too. I mean, they were classy. Yeah, they gave back to the community.
Yeah, they hadn't forgot where they come from. They know. They were raised right, like me and you. They probably
exactly
good
right.
mamas.
Yeah.
That thing about Troy, Saturday night at 6, my Kiwanis Club has our annual Princess Ball fundraiser, little daddy-daughter dance. And then we got also Saturday night, Troy has a home basketball game.
Yeah.
Saturday night we got the Mardi Gras ball.
That's right.
Saturday night, Arts Council has an event.
Yeah.
If you live
Troy,
in a small
Alabama's
town,
got
there's
a lot
nothing to
going
do.
on. You're right. I don't know if you realize that, Will, that Troy has so many things going on here, and it's exciting.
Mardi Gras event, college basketball, world-class entertainment, and it's the last day of deer season.
The last day of deer season might be bigger than all of it.
It probably is bigger than all of it.
The thing about it, this weekend, Ozark's the same way, Will. The motel rooms will be filled with hunters from Florida, wouldn't you say?
Oh, in Georgia.
Yeah. And, of course, that last day of hunting season, I know Steve wasn't here this morning, and I said, well, he must be out in the woods.
It's raining. It's raining this morning.
I don't know, though.
If he got out there early, he might have been.
I know, but a lot of times those old deer get up and start moving around a little bit, And, Will, have you ever wondered why we feed the deer in the medians of our highways? Have you ever noticed that?
I have not noticed that.
Have you ever noticed that they throw out seed to grow ryegrass in the medians of our major highways? You know what that draws, don't you?
Yeah.
It draws deer into our medians, and deer are crossing our roads. Can you believe that? That ought to be against the law.
I never thought about it.
Somebody told me that there's a law in the legislature, a proposed bill, to allow hunting over bait, which has been against the law for years.
Yeah, because they got to get rid of some of them. They just overpopulated. Is that right?
I don't know. I don't know what the theory is.
No question about it.
Well, part of the theory is if you got a limit, does it matter if you shoot them over bait or not? If you can only shoot
That's
one,
right. Yeah, but now in the state of Alabama, you can shoot 2, and I think that's why Florida folks come up here so much. But think about it. Deer have to have something to eat.
Yeah.
Well, there's just a lot more farmland in Alabama than it is in Florida. What do you say?
Yeah. And a lot more forest, a lot more habitat.
Exactly.
And a lot more deer than there used to be.
All right, back to talking about this event, and of course it comes up at the Claudia Crosby Theater. We're so fortunate to have a theater like that, and just like Ozark, Will's got that Civic Center. You can bring most any kind of groups in there. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
What's the capacity of that facility, Will?
5,500. It's a lot bigger than Dothan's. Dothan's only seats about 2,500.
And
wow,
of course,
really?
It is, and of course, that's after you see everybody on the floor too. Is that right?
I'm really shocked that Dothan got the sub-regionals for the basketball. You know, the last couple of years. I would think Troy with that new stadium.
I know it, and I would love for them to do that, and they did that. They had that for a while. One of the things they run into.
What's that?
A lot of the universities don't want to have to fool with it. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot
of work. But I think this group that we got in here now would be glad to have it. But in the past, I think they said, well, we're going to have to do this and we're going to have to do that. And
it costs money too.
There were some times at Sartain Hall, Will, where the fire marshal had to come in and shut the doors. And there were still people climbing into the restroom windows and places like that to get in the gym.
Yeah, I've been to a few events at Old Sartain where it was jammed to the rafters.
Yeah. In fact, I also want to mention that Charles Henderson High School will play the winner. Let's see, I don't know exactly who won last night, but last night there was a game played at Charles Henderson High School between Brew Tech and Greenville, and I don't know exactly who won that game, but Charles Henderson's going to play the winner of that game. Will, Charles Henderson has got a girl who's a junior. Her name is Mario Davenport. She's 6'4". She is the best shot blocker you'll ever see. But she's heard this past week from Connecticut. That's how good she is. She's considered one of the top.
That's the top of the top.
That's right. She's one of the top centers in America. But the problem is she's only a junior.
Yeah.
But whoever gets her will be getting a franchise type player. Wouldn't that be great if Troy could get her?
Listen, if you're a lady basketball player and you hear from UConn as a junior,
yeah, that's right.
You can write your own ticket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
everybody want her.
Oh, it's just amazing how many people are after her, and of course she's a great kid too. And there are two more players on that team. One of them is the coach's daughter, and she's just a 10th grader.
Right. I was about to say one of the better players is the coach's
daughter.
Well,
you know what a guy told me the other day. Now hear this. They think she's the best free throw shooter in town. And I said, what does that mean? That means the boys, and that means Troy University's girls and Troy University's boys. They say that this girl is a better free throw shooter than anybody in town.
And she was good as a freshman,
and
too.
She's a 10th grader.
Yeah.
She does not miss from the line, Will. You foul her, she's going to make it.
That's Coach's kid for you.
Hey, Mike, if Wayne Purvis from Coffee Springs,
that's right.
I bet he'd beat her.
Well, and people that don't know that story, I want you to hear this. And Will, you tell me your end of the story, and then I'll tell you mine if it's different.
Well, this is Wayne Purvis would shoot NBA players for money.
And he grew up in Enterprise. He played at Enterprise High School.
And he was coach at Coffee Springs for a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
Died of cancer. He was a great golfer too.
Yeah.
And he would bet on anything. I mean, he was just that's who Wayne Purvis was. Well, JoJo White took him on.
That's right.
And
the former Boston Celtics star.
They came to Dothan. I bet they had 2,000 people.
I remember all of that, and you're saying it exactly right.
Yes, and they got up $10,000 to the winner to shoot 100 free throws.
100 free throws. This was at the.
This was at Dothan High School, and it was packed.
Oh, it was at Dothan High School. Okay, I thought it was in the one of the shopping centers.
They didn't have the Civic Center.
Okay, I got you.
I'll tell you where it was. It was at the Farm Center where it was.
Okay, the Farm Center. Okay.
What was JoJo White doing in Dothan?
He had that challenge.
Oh, just for that event?
Yeah, just for that event, didn't
he? Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, the winner gets $10,000.
Yeah.
You know, back then that was a pretty lot of money.
He was coming to Dothan to get a check.
Pretty lot of money.
Free throws. And they flipped a coin to see who went first. And JoJo White won the toss, and he went first, and he hit 95 out of 100.
95 out of 100 free throws.
Wayne Purvis hit every free throw but one. He hit 99 out of 100.
and of course, took home the winner. But you're exactly right. He was known as one of the great free throw shooters of all time. He played at Chipola in junior college, and he played with Charles Clark, and he also played with a guy named Red Robbins. Red Robbins also came out of there and went on to Tennessee and played it. But that was a great Chipola team he played on. But isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
Isn't that amazing? What a great free throw shooter he was. But
he was amazing. He was.
But this girl, this young 10th grade girl over there, the coach's daughter, is one of the. They say he's the best free throw shooter in town. I reckon
that's saying a lot.
That includes Wesley Person too.
That's saying a lot in a town with a college basketball team. And, and that's a lost art. How many games have you and I sat through and watched teams lose because they couldn't hit the free throws?
You're right.
Oh, I get so frustrated.
That's right. No question about it.
I've seen Troy lose many games.
Will's old school Vanderbilt back with the F Troop. You remember that, Will?
Absolutely. They would win basketball games just by shooting free throws.
The F Troop was Fosnitz, Fear, Ford, and Brandbredikoff, who's the coach's son. And that's going to play Alabama for the SEC championship in Tuscaloosa. You said you had that game too, weren't you, Will?
Yes, sir.
And hey, it was the free throws that Vanderbilt hit. I think there were 19 out of 21 or something like that.
Yeah.
Beat Leon Douglas and Alabama that afternoon.
Was that about 74?
Back
Yeah, that's
then,
right.
Mike,
I want to say it was on a Sunday. The game was on a Sunday, wasn't it?
No, it was on Saturday
Saturday,
night. I
okay.
remember. Back then, you played 18 games in the SEC. There were 9 teams in the SEC.
Yeah.
South Carolina wasn't in there, and Missouri wasn't in there.
That's right.
Arkansas wasn't in there.
Arkansas wasn't in there then either. You're right.
There were 4 teams not in there. Now we got 14 teams. But back then there was 8 they played. Every team twice. That year, Vanderbilt was 16-2 in the league. Alabama was 16-2 in the league, but the 2 Alabama losses were to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt got the bid to the NCAAs. They only took 16 teams back then.
Right.
And Alabama did not go anywhere. They refused the NIT, and after
And
that,
C.M. Newton was the coach at that time.
yeah, the NCAA expanded the next year to 32, and now it's 67 or 8, whatever it is.
Right. No question about it. It's amazing, you know, what free throw shooting will do for you. And of course, I love to talk old basketball. And I was talking just yesterday. Bill Stewart and I were talking about old basketball games, and you know those thrilling games that you don't forget them, do you, Will?
No.
Tell you, Will, when I was in law school at Cumberland, they moved the SEC tournament to Birmingham.
Oh yeah.
And
you was there a lot.
Yeah.
You was there several years.
And we would go down to the Birmingham Civic Center and hang around because you couldn't buy a ticket to a game. Yeah. You had to buy a pass to the tournament. Well, we'd go down there and hang around, and after the first round, when Mississippi State and Auburn were going home, we'd buy tickets from those fans that were leaving, and we'd go see the rest of the game.
If the Kentucky fans didn't gobble them up. See, the Kentucky fans were doing the same thing. They knew their team was going to the final, and that's what they did. They bought the tickets from everybody else. You remember that?
You'd go down to that Hilton. It was a Hilton then. It was connected to the Civic Center, and it was all blue. It was Kentucky headquarters.
Well, it's coming back to Birmingham. Ladies and gentlemen, recently they signed a deal that Birmingham's going to build a 55,000-seat football stadium. Plus, Will, they're going to renovate Jefferson County Civic Center. They're renovating it. It already holds 17,000.
Yeah.
You remember all those great tournaments?
Oh, yeah.
But they have built a golf driving range. Will, have you been to Birmingham lately?
Not lately.
They have built a golf range 5 stories tall with a huge net across or down there near the Civic Center. And what you do, you go to this bar and eat supper, then you walk a few feet and you can hit balls off the driving range.
Just like something they do in Tokyo.
Who's going to play in this stadium? UAB?
UAB. And it's right now it's UAB, to my knowledge, and 55,000 seat stadium.
Now they got some new Major League Soccer team coming to Birmingham. Are they going to play there?
That's where they'll play. I guarantee you, that's where they'll play. Soccer's getting so big. Now I can't even watch a soccer game. Now I apologize to you parents out there that kids are in soccer because it is a great sport, but I couldn't even tell you how the rules.
All my grandchildren play soccer, and I go to their games and watch. And if it wasn't for my grandchildren, it would be painful. I'm just not a soccer fan.
I'm not either. All I know, there's a goalie, and that's it. That's the only position I know. Is golf big? I mean, is that big in Ozark?
Oh yeah, there's kids playing soccer now all over the place.
Yeah, and of course all these old ex-football players are telling kids not to play football until they get in high school.
Well, listen,
don't play at a young age.
I tell my grandchildren I want them to play golf and go fishing. The happiest people I know are people who fish, and nobody ever got a concussion playing golf. So
exactly right.
I just want my grandsons to golf and fish and be happy and healthy.
What I'd like for you to do, Will, is get my buddy from McLeod from Ozark, and you bring him up here and let's talk one morning. What's his name? Is it McLeod? What's his name? Plays it for in the pros.
You talking about Wilbur Jackson?
No, the kid that's from Ozark that plays in the pros now. Went to Troy.
McLeod.
McClendon. We need to get him to come on the show. His neck is bigger than my head. I mean, he has the biggest neck I think I've ever seen. I
don't know if he's still playing or if he's retired.
Yeah, he's still playing.
Yeah.
He's still playing, and I think he's got a nephew or something that from Ozark that's going to probably sign with somebody. Of course, signing day. Listen to this: big night tonight in Troy at the Stadium Club. Will, you might want to come up with this. It's signing day, where of course you come in and you get food and drink and then sit back and the coaches will tell you all about the players they signed today and tell you about how and it's just going to be a lot of fun, and it starts at 5:30 at the Stadium Club. It's free to the people that are members of the what is it, the group
There's a
I'll tell you exactly. It is free to the Trojan Warriors, and I'm a Trojan Warrior and couldn't even come up with it. They get in free, and those other people that are not members of the Trojan Warriors, it's just $15. We're talking about food and drink and a great night to mingle with the coaches, and each coach will talk about their recruits, the ones they recruited. It's really a lot of fun.
And it's always football season.
And we'll be there to film it on Troy Cable. Troy Cable will have a camera there. Scott and the gang will be over there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But, man, it is a lot of things going on, but this group, how do you resist hearing the group Alabama? And that's exactly what you'll hear.
Yeah, Heart Behind the Music, Teddy Gentry of Alabama, Marty Rabin of Shenandoah, and Linda Davis, 3 Grammy Award winners, and I think between them they have 57 #1 hits. And
I don't think you'll find a venue anywhere with that many.
On one stage at one time in Troy, Saturday night.
Yeah.
$30. You can get tickets at the door. You can get them online at TroyArtsCouncil.com. So take it. I tell people, turn off the TV, get off your couch, and go to the Mardi Gras ball. Go see Heart Behind the Music. Go to the basketball game.
That's right.
Turn off that TV and get out.
I want to say the basketball game is in the afternoon. It starts at 4:15. I think it starts. It's an afternoon game from the Trojan Arena. Now Thursday night, the game's at night.
Yeah.
And and it's a lot of fun to watch. And of course, Troy, I think, is going to turn the corner and play tough down the stretch. Of course,
I told Phil Cunningham one time, I said, to me, and I love all sports.
Yeah.
I said, but to me, the best sporting event for a spectator is college basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't get rained out.
That's right.
You don't freeze to death. And a game, it's 40 minutes. It's not like an NBA game that goes on forever.
And the cheerleaders are standing right in front of you at timeout.
And no game ever ended in a tie, nothing to nothing, like a soccer game.
And then you got a big basketball band of about 100 people.
It's fast paced. There's scoring. You're indoor it's comfortable. I can leave my house, go to a ball game, and be back home in about 2 hours.
That's right.
You don't have to devote a whole day of your life.
That's right.
You don't have to sit out in the rain. You don't have to watch a boring 0-0 like the soccer sometimes.
That's right.
0-0.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go on forever. And the best event for a spectator is college basketball.
No question about it. Of course, remind you, Troy's signing day is for NCAA football is today.
It's today.
And of course, Alabama and Auburn's already got theirs. Troy's already got most of theirs already, and hopefully they've signed a few more down the stretch. And it's going to be a lot of fun to find out about these guys and a little bit about where they're from. Of course, right here, there's a late push for this kid, Chance Warren from Enterprise. Will, you still on the line?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
And of course, some of the Carroll High boys are going to be going to sign today too. So we'll be taking a look at them, and tomorrow we'll have a list of signees for football right here on our show. Of course,
Carroll High's got a great running back. I don't know where he's going to school. But
has he not already signed with anybody?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
They've had one for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
They've had a great running back, and I see the assistant coach from Carroll all the time, and he tells me about all the players that they're probably going to sign. So, they're doing a great job.
We had 2 undefeated regular seasons in a row.
I know they've done a great job, no question about it. And, of course, Troy signed a kid out of Dothan High School, or Northview, that's supposed to be really good, a down defensive lineman. We'll be talking about him tomorrow. Of course, I say this all the time about Troy. We have so much to offer through the theater. All the things going on down in Brundage. Last week I was at the storytelling.
Yeah, that's turned into a big event.
It was packed. It was packed Saturday night. It was packed, and really enjoyed that. And got tickled with it. Mike, you on? Mike's left us, I think. Will Matthews is still on with us from Ozark.
I got to run, but it's great talking. You too, Joel.
You too, Will.
Will, I'm so glad you called, because John Bubba Trotman was a legend, and his legacy, I think, will live on. Everybody will always say one of the classiest guys they ever knew was John Bubba Trotman.
Yes.
We were talking about it yesterday. My Aunt Sarah is the last one left of that generation of people. And she's 93. She lives at home, still drives. She plays the piano. She plays bridge. She's got her mind, great mind. But she's the last one of all of them.
Well, and of course she lives in Ozark. Was she a Carroll?
That's right. She was married to Kells Carroll.
Oh, okay, I got you. And again, you look at Ozark, big families, the Carroll family.
Oh, yeah.
Will's a part of that.
Yeah.
I reckon they claim you, Will. Do they still claim you?
I'm on the outside, probably.
Ever since that swimming pool incident.
Oh yeah, I know it. I bet after you did that, they would say, "Hey, you can come, but don't bring your boy.
Yeah,
don't bring your boy."
I will say this, Mike. People down here treat me a lot better since they found out my son was working for the president.
Yeah.
Once that got out, then they've given me a lot better treatment.
It rehabilitated you, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Will, tell him that quickly, that story. This happened almost overnight. I mean, it's happened within the last year or two. Isn't that right?
It was in 16. In March, I was a delegate to Cleveland, and back, this Ted Cruz was trying to steal the nomination from Trump. And so we had to get up our delegates from Alabama. We had a private meeting with our 33 delegates. There were 17 Cruz delegates. But we had 33, and they had a meeting in Montgomery. Well, I wasn't going to go during the middle of the week. I was just going to call in. It was a night thing. And my son, David, said, "Nope, you're going. I'm going to drive you up there." And so we went up there, and we're sitting there, and it was nice. I mean, but there weren't but about 10 or 12 of us. And Jeff Sessions was there. I'd known him for years. We were on a committee together with Methodist.
You probably know Jeff Sessions well, too, don't you?
I know who he is.
And Jeff was sitting there with me. He said, "I like your son. He ought to be involved in the campaign." I said, "Well, I don't know anything about that." And he pulled out his cell phone, and guess who he called on the cell phone?
Not Donald Trump now. Not Donald Trump.
Yes. And
Well, you said.
And be in Wisconsin the next day.
Told your son, told him that he told Jeff Sessions to tell your son to be in Wisconsin the next day?
And the next day I flew him to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We got up at 3 in the morning and went down to Tallahassee, and he got on a plane.
And the rest is history.
Trump liked him, sent him to Pittsburgh by himself. He's 28 years old. He gave him a hotel room and paid him, and gave him an office and gave him a car. And when he left Pittsburgh, he had 1,500 unpaid volunteers working for Trump.
Wow.
And they won, and well, it goes on into the summer. This Manafort guy that's probably fixing to go to prison, he wanted to send David to Florida. And David had met this girl in Pittsburgh, and he was not going to Florida. He said, "Look, Dad, I've met plenty of people that give me a job up here. I'm not leaving." And so anyway, Manafort got fired back during the summer, and this Kellyanne Conway got hired. And so Kellyanne Conway called me and said, "Can you talk some sense into your son?" I said, "Let me tell you something. He's not going to Florida, but he tells me he can win Pennsylvania." She said, "Well, we're 14 points behind in Pennsylvania." I said, "My son says we can win Pennsylvania. It's just like Alabama, except for Philadelphia. You get over to Philadelphia, you're not going to win Philadelphia. But everywhere else in the state, we can win." And that was the state that gave Trump the presidency, was Pennsylvania. When he won that state, that put him over the top. Well, when it came time for jobs, he was offered 5 different jobs in Washington. And he picked the Department of Agriculture, which I couldn't understand, but he is President Trump's liaison to the Agriculture Department. And he's been there since January the 20th of last year.
And he's now married that girl he met in Pennsylvania. That's the rest of the story. Is that right?
Married that girl, and they're expecting a baby and all.
But think about this. Now, this is a great story. I mean, Will, you weren't even going to go to the convention. Then his son said,
he was not, but I was.
Oh, I thought you said you weren't going to go. And
would President Trump still take a phone call from Sessions now? That's what I want to know. If Sessions called, would he still answer?
Oh, sir, and that's something that's that's the press telling all that. If he was mad with Sessions, he'd be gone.
Yeah.
So
well, Sessions just wants everybody to know he's going to do his job regardless of who the president is. I mean, what I'm saying, he's going to do it by the law. Is that right?
Yeah.
Jeff Sessions is as straight a guy as I've ever met. I mean, you can't.
Well, Doug Hawkins, Dr. Doug Hawkins, the late Doug Hawkins and Jeff Sessions were very good friends. Mm-hmm. You remember, he was his campaign manager for many years, and he told me that Sessions was one of the nicest guys around. I mean, he was by the book, Yeah. Is that right?
I didn't know Sessions. I was always on the other side.
That's right. That's right. We're talking to a pretty strong Democrat here now. You know that, don't you?
I know that.
last one left, I think.
But that is a great story, Will. I'm glad you told it. And ladies and gentlemen, it just tells you what a small world this is, and how you never can tell when that opportunity might come, and it came for your son, didn't it?
Guess how many paid campaign workers Donald Trump had during the primaries in 2016?
I have no idea.
Nationwide. 40.
Wow.
In 2016.
Hillary had like 1,100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, after he got the nomination, the RNC gave him 2,000 paid employees for his campaign. So his campaign really was non-existent until he got the nomination.
Yeah.
And then that's when the RNC came in with all those people.
But and then let me just say this. All right, Joel's a Democrat, but some of your best friends are Democrats. Will, I mean, really, some of your leaders, some of your big leaders in the state, in county and city government are Democrats.
Not
I mean,
anymore.
a long time. I know, but there's some long-term people are still running on the Democratic Party. Folsom is a good example. Isn't that right?
Well, he hadn't been in office in.
I know it, but he was a yellow dog Democrat, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, certainly.
And there's still a lot of them out there. Your guy from Ozark isn't he? Your state representative from Ozark.
Well, he's a Republican.
Oh, he is? Okay. You know him pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, I know Steve well. He's a nice guy.
Steve is one of the top Republicans in the state, I would say, wouldn't you say?
There are no Democratic elected officials in Dale or Houston County, either one.
No, it's not. But that's just started to happen like that, though. I mean, they were long-time Democrats.
We still have them in Pike County.
Yeah.
In maybe 2002, 2000, somewhere along there.
Yeah, exactly right. Will, thank you so much, my friend.
All right, buddy.
See you later. Will Matthews calling in, and of course, you can believe him or not believe him, but I've heard that story too many times not to believe that.
Yeah, that's a great story.
But things like that can happen, can't it?
Right place at the right time.
And of course, they were trying to get people to, at that time, he didn't, like he said, he didn't have a whole lot of supporters, and of course, he went to the right place. A young, dynamic guy can get a crowd going.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, I got to be in court in about 5 minutes. I got to run. I want to leave y'all some tickets.
All right, thank you
give them
so
away
much.
during the week, or
thank you so much.
Get your crowd and go Saturday night.
And these
Heart
are worth
Behind the Music,
$30 a piece.
$30 a piece.
And ladies and gentlemen, call in right now. We'd love to give some away this morning. And again, Joel, we appreciate
Coach,
you coming.
thank you. Appreciate everything you do in the community.
And appreciate all these guys calling in this morning. And of course, we're gonna take a short break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town and Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar per dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
Back to our show, brought to you by our good friends at Dixieland Dental, located 9 miles north of Dothan. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. I've known these people a long time. They are great people, and you'll see their store or their dental clinic right outside of Midland City. In just 9 miles north of Dothan, and they're great people. Talking about recruiting, and there's some players out there still, and hopefully Troy will be able to grab some of these guys. One of them is a young man named Tyrone Harris, is committed to Troy. He's out of Lee County, Georgia, and he's 6'1", 190-pounder, and he's a wide receiver. Wide receiver Demontrez Brown is a young man that they really do want to get in the fold. He's out of Bob Jones High School in Madison, and they feel like they've got him. Defensive tackle Will Kelo, 6'1", 277 from Archer High School in Georgia. Tight end Anthony Lewis, a junior, 6'4", 228 from Murphy High, Mobile. Troy had commitments from Brown and Lewis, to address some of the wide receiver needs at Troy as far as depth. Troy probably will dress 10 to 12 wide receivers each week, maybe more than that at home, to make sure they've got enough receivers because they throw it so much. And of course, they're also in need for some good defensive backs and some running backs. There's a of course, these commitments, they're commitments, and people can change their minds. And hopefully tonight, from the Trojan Arena, from the Stadium Club, you'll be able to hear firsthand from the Troy coaches about the signees that not only they got back in December, but the new signees they've got this last go around. And again, that's tonight at 5:30. It's free to all Trojan Warrior members, and just $15 a piece for other people joining in the party. So should be a lot of fun. And of course, we've got a great week of entertainment. And tomorrow on this show, I'll give away some of these tickets to the Heart Behind the Music celebration. These are $30 tickets now. And I've got about 6 of them, so call me tomorrow on the show and get some of these tickets to this big musical. Hey, Teddy Gentry, the group Shenandoah, and then one of Reba McEntire's duet people are going to be at Claudia Crosby Theater. It's going to be a great time. Of course, also you folks that still would like a table for the big Mardi Gras ball this weekend. I would think you could call the College Senior Center and find out more information about it. Hope you've enjoyed our show. We appreciate the folks calling in. And again, our hearts and our go out to Mike Wood, a good friend of mine over the years, and his sister John Wood Beard. Our prayers and our thoughts are with you today, and in losing Mike. And of course, I know the Beard family will be gathering today. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow for Today in LA.